Democrats have absconded from the responsibility, and I believe they have forfeited their seats in the state legislature because they're not doing the job they were elected to do.
It's a bold-ass power grab by the administration and the governor of Texas serving us up on a platter.
Communities of color make up the majority of people, yet when we look at these rigged maps, we don't see them represented in the districts that they're voting in. And so that's what we're fighting against right now. We're fighting for the people, and we're really fighting for democracy.
Donald Trump is trying to steal our democracy. They've stolen healthcare, they've stolen our job, they've stolen our education. The last thing they have to steal is our democracy. By doing that, they would have to disenfranchise and take power away from minority communities in order to do so.
That they will be diluting the voices of our most marginalized community members. And so this is truly a power grab. And it is shocking, I think, jarring that they're doing this so out in the open, like sinvergüenza.
These were all seats that are currently occupied by people of color, 3 African American and 1 Latino. And so this is just the start. They're trying to crack open every congressional seat. And especially when we've just come out of our census count, we saw an increase of minority representation, but we had no increase in congressional representation.
We have an opportunity to fight for the American people and fight for the values that we have, and Democrats need to be in charge because Republicans have clearly exemplified that they're not getting it done right now.
The way the governor decides to go about it is a racist attack on black and brown communities. The seats they're trying to dismantle are black and brown community seats.
I'm State Representative Ann Johnson from Houston, Texas, and along with my Democratic colleagues, we have broken quorum out of Texas to try to protect the interest of voters, not only in our state, but nationwide. And I will tell you that the first day, they threatened our position in leadership. The second day, they threatened financial ruin for us personally. And now on the third day, they have threatened our lives. It does not weaken our resolve. It happened, we are safe, and we continue to move forward. I will tell you, as your former chief human trafficking prosecutor out of Houston, Texas, I'm accustomed to criminals threatening my life. But I never thought I'd see the day that it would come from our governor, our attorney general, or the president of the United States. Things are different now. It is time for everybody to catch that courage and stand up and say Republican extremism is no good for not only Texas, but not for our nation. It is time for us to get back to the things that are truly our values. We can disagree without being disagreeable. We can disagree without threatening one another. And we can disagree and have our own without trying to take away from somebody else. So let's get back to the heart of being Texan and being American.
Hey y'all, it's Texas State Representative James Tallarico here in Illinois. Texas Republicans just issued a warrant for my arrest for breaking quorum with my House Democratic colleagues to stop Trump's redistricting power grab. Governor Abbott even threatened to remove me from office, to remove me from my democratically elected position in the Texas House of Representatives. They must have forgotten that this is still a democracy. They must have forgotten that I was duly elected by the people of Texas. They must have forgotten that I swore an oath to God to defend my constituents and the Constitution. That's why we're breaking quorum, to stop them from rigging the next election and silencing the voices of the people. It's about time we stand up to these wannabe tyrants. If you support me in this fight, add your name and send a clear message to Donald Trump, Greg Abbott, and Ken Paxton that the people have my back and that this power grab will not succeed.
Gavin Newsom just shatters the Republican Party with this pressing. Listen.
Trump presidency ends in November of next year if the American people are given a fair chance and a voice and a choice. We will take back Congress. The President of the United States recognizes that, so he wants to rig the game. Wants to change the rules midterm. They're very effective at this. They've done this in the past. They've got a lot of experience doing this. He dials up Greg Abbott, says, I need 5. Instead of 12,000 votes, Georgia, I need 5 House seats. He obliges. And they're doing a midterm rejection of objectivity and independence. A act that we could criticize from the sideline, or an act that we can respond to in kind, fight fire with fire in the spirit.
After hearing this, the Republican Party shat their pants. That's right, they shat their pants because they know if we win the midterms, Donald Trump is gone. We take the House, we take the Senate, Donald Trump is impeached and we wipe our hands with him. Why is that? Well, this is why. California has 52 congressional seats in the 2024 election. Democrats hold 43 of those seats, Republicans 9. So, Texas has 38 congressional seats. They hold 25. The Democrats hold 13. So, even if Texas takes 5 of those Democratic seats, we still gain 4 from California. That's right. It's a win-win. Fight fire with fire. Let's see what else Gavin Newsom has to say. After that interview, a reporter asked Newsom if this was constitutional, and Newsom replied, "We're reacting to the President of the United States and Greg Abbott trying to rig the election," Newsom told reporters on Thursday. "They recognize they can't win in the midterms. All the momentum has shifted away from them. It's about time that the Democratic Party grew a spine. They need to fight fire with fire." My best analogy is this. If you're basically running a race and you have a Democrat and a Republican, you're running that race and then you look to your right and you see that Republican on a bicycle when you only have your 2 legs, he's going to win. Guess what? The next time you run that same race and you see him jump on that bicycle, get a freaking Ferrari, for God's sakes. We are done playing with these cheating Republicans. They are nothing but unconstitutional, and we need to fight fire with fire. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Throw a follow and have a day.
Just a friendly reminder, in 2021, there was a bill in Congress that would have banned gerrymandering. Yep. It was called the For the People Act. Every single Democrat voted for it. Every single Republican voted against it. This is not by coincidence, it's by design. They know that they cannot stay in power without cheating, which is gerrymandering. So, there you have it.
You're lying! I'm a veteran and you don't give a fuck about me! Hey, shut the fuck up! You don't get the fuck opinion to us! You don't get to take away our rights! You don't get to take our house! Get off of me! You don't get to do this to us! Fuck you!
So to be clear, I deeply value the contributions that
Just to be clear,
make
bullshit, and you're not telling the
every
truth.
day.
You're not listening to
Let him speak. Let him
Service. For example, folks at the National Weather Service are fired.
You're lying.
Oh, there's bad news of fans of living because Health Secretary RFK Jr. just pulled $500 million in funding for vaccine development. Now, we have 10 more months of this show, and I want to give a measured, nonpartisan response here. You roid-addled Nepo clown. Now, Specifically, Bobby Jr. is nixing 22 projects that use mRNA technology. But that's the latest vaccine technology. That's like saying, kids, I'm turning off the GPS. We're going to make our way to Six Flags by using the stars. Hand Daddy the sextant. Yes, crank down windows in Daddy's car. There you go. All right, there you go. Now, yesterday, RFK Jr. tried to defend the indefensible.
Most of these shots are for flu or COVID, but as the pandemic showed us, mRNA vaccines don't perform well against viruses that infect the upper respiratory tract.
Counterpoint, you roadkill munching Luddite human Slim Jim. kill people.
The President of the United States is fucking lying. I think this whole administration has completely lost their fucking mind, and I think we're all gonna die.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
Man, I almost finished this last bite before the camera came on. Almost. I was so close. So close. Okay. Anyhow, welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Good evening to some folks. It's 9:25 here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, where we have a temperature right now of already 87 degrees. We're supposed to get to a high of 97. So that's what it's like in Vegas right now. I have not been outside yet. It's been really hazy and smoky still. I see Sandy Foltz first in the chat. Hello, Sandy Foltz. Thanks for being here. Paul Burrows was checking in. Says it's raining like a cow and pissing on a flat rock. Like a cow pissing on here in Wallowa, Oregon. As I drink some cow's milk. Belfast Bob, hello TJ and fellow loungers. Hello Belfast Bob, thanks for joining us from all the way from Ireland. Yeah, he was in here early. Hopefully came back. Aaron West is here. Hey Aaron, good to see you. MJ Daniel from up in Washington State there says Harrison Walls ran a very good campaign, and Americans are just now finding out what a mistake not voting for them was. Squirrel Girl's here. I made it on time today. Hi Trucker John, hi chat. I've got to lurk and work, so okay. Well, thanks for checking in. Hope you'll keep listening, hanging out with us whenever you can. Damon Dog, the big dog's here. Says, hey Trucker John, Aaron West, and everybody else there. Damon Dog's going to the VA podiatrist. I'll be listening. William's here. Hey, William, good to see you. I love a cold glass of milk. I do. Some people are lactose intolerant and they can't drink milk, but I can. And I like it. Nick Rich is here, like number 906. I'm 20 minutes behind you. I'm 20 minutes. I'll see if I can catch up a little bit here. Nick Rich will be lurking for the first hour or so. Laundry and a few other chores awaits. Don't let that laundry build up. That's good you're doing it. Get her done. Get her done there, Nick. James Hermio's here. Hey, James, good to see you. Thanks for dropping on by. I do appreciate you. Carrie C is here. Hello, Carrie. Sandy Foltz getting right back with the football talk where we left off yesterday. Sandy Foltz says the Bills are playing the Giants this Saturday. Yeah, we got preseason games coming up. So we got a couple of those, and then the season will be starting. Robert Perez from South San Diego way. Hey, Robert, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Robert says, top of the morning to you, Trucker John, and a groovy day to all Democratic voters. Alton Gillespie's here. Hey, Alton, good to see you. Howdy, Big Lee. Big Lee. Truck and John and our fellow truckers. Honorary and otherwise. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. MJ Daniel says, fuck DJT and fuck Republican Party. Damn right. You tell them. MJ Daniel, one last chance to fix this shit show in the midterm. I think this was in response to some of these clips. To the opening clips there, where again showing what's going on in Texas and what Greg Abbott wants to do, and with being led by Donald Trump, wanted to pick up do the redistricting 5 years early, and so they can pick up more house seats there. And the response to it. That's what that whole intro was about, I guess. David Dog 85 is nasty today. MJ Daniel, I agree 100%. Could not have said it better. Yeah, that was during the clip. Probably when the guy was saying, if you see them get on a bike, then we need to get in a fucking Ferrari. Old Gillespie says howdy to Belfast Bob and the Damon Dog. MJ and Daniel, he needs to be in an institution. That could go either to Trump or RFK Jr. That could have been a lot of people there during that intro, I guess. Nick Rich says, I'm completely infuriated with the assholes in charge of the 47th administration. They're all incompetent and don't give two shits about democracy. You're right. They don't give a shit about democracy. They only care about power. Because apparently, whatever they have, and most of these fuckers are all millionaires, multimillionaires, at least. Apparently, that's not enough. They say money can't buy love. Apparently, it can't buy contentment either. These motherfuckers aren't content living their very opulent lifestyles with all the millions and billions of dollars that they have. It's just not enough. These people are sick and they should be institutionalized. If you've got multi-millions of dollars and above, because there's some of these guys are billionaires like Trump and shit, and you're still not happy, or you think you're living some sort of rough life or something, or a hard life, or things are hard, and you're a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, fuck you. Try living on 20 grand a year or 18 grand a year, which a lot of people do. And even the averages of, I'm not sure what the average income is now, but it's what, 60, 70, 80 grand a year. Try living on that and raising a family, you motherfucking cocksuckers. with your multi-millions and billions of dollars. Fuck you. And they're just making life harder and harder and harder for us. And easier and easier and easier for them. Nick Rich starting at 9:25 a.m. in Vegas. I think I've closed the gap down to about 6 minutes. I might only be about 6 minutes behind you. Stephanie B2's here. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Squirrel Girl, breakfast with Trucker John. Yeah, I was just chowing down. Actually, what I had, have you ever had like leftover pizza for breakfast? That's what I had, because I ordered pizza last night, and so I had some leftovers, and it was, it was good. I don't recommend doing that every morning. Some people will say you should never do that, probably. But leftover pizza, and I warmed it up with a cold glass of milk, and I'm good to go, man. I'm good to go. Of course, right after the show, I will be making something a little more substantial, I guess, to eat. Paul Burrow says only idiots would cut down trees to make paper, then write on it, "Save the trees." I know, right? And we do it. We've been doing it our whole lives. We need to use recycled paper or something. I don't know. MJ Daniel says back around 1976 or so, we got milk from a small dairy farmer in a big mayo jar. Had to shake it to mix the cream on the top. Geez, what? 1976? I was going to say, what, do you live in the 20s or something? Sammy Carter's here from London. Hey, Sammy Carter, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. 17:30, so it's 5:30 p.m. for Sammy over there. MJ Daniel says, yep, Democrats in Texas are doing the exact right thing. Nick Rich, 9:30. Hey, I'm only 3 minutes behind, Nick. Are you proud of me? 72 says, and just a few days ago, the Republicans walked out of D.C. so that Epstein wouldn't be released. Yeah, see, so what goes around comes around. And they only like it when they do it, not when the other side does it. Marsha's here. Marsha, like number 20. Speaking of likes, we got 27 watching, 24 thumbs ups. We are operating at a bit of a deficit, so let's be good good Democrats and let's balance that budget. Thanks, Marsha, for being here, though. I appreciate you. Sammy Carter says cruelty, control, and corruption is this administration's MO. Modus operandi. For those keeping score at home. Sandy Foltz says I'm going swimming after my soaps are over. Yeah, got to get those soaps in. That's important. Let's see here. I'm just going down here. James Jaramillo had some banana bread. Oh, that sounds good. I like a good banana bread every now and then. Nice freshly baked loaf. Search for You's here, lurking while working. Thanks, Search for You. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I do see we've gotten to a balanced budget. 26 watching, 26 thumbs up. So thanks for that. Marcia says, hello, Trucker John. Sorry I haven't been able to watch lately. I've been unwell and constantly training aides only to get rid of them when they suddenly have no car. Oh. Yeah. That sucks. Well, I hope you're able to lock someone down, so to speak. Hey, I'm caught up. Thank you for watching today's show. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. So now, whenever I'm always the dog that catches the tailpipe whenever I catch up. So now what do I do? Sandy Foltz saying hi. Nick Rich, I've noticed that some of the autocorrect replacements are really weird. Typed in help, but it put hello on the screen. Oh, you should be so lucky. I should be so lucky. Sometimes the replacement is even way worse than that. Like a lot of times, have you ever noticed? Has this happened to you guys? Like, if you type in, like sometimes I'll say, "Hey, I'll see you guys over at House Sparks" or something like that. It will always autocorrect to Halloween when I put Hal in. So I just have to double check that I didn't, before I send it. It doesn't say, "I'll see you over at the Halloween Sparks show." Sammy Carter says Trump's announced he's going to meet Putin in the next few days. It is getting uncomfortable for him, and the U.S. seems to be going overseas a lot lately. Yeah, he's trying to escape all the Epstein stuff. And the funny thing about it is when he goes over, like, to Scotland, for instance, the first questions he gets asked are about Epstein. And that's why he's like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me, man." He's like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" He's like, "I came all the way to Scotland to get away from this shit." And, hell, he's like, "Oh, brother." And so good on those reporters. I hope wherever he goes. Now, if he goes to Russia, I don't know. They don't even have reporters, probably. But yes, keep the heat up. Just went out for a minute. We got a call. I got a call that came in. I don't know why it does that because I have it on Do Not Disturb and calls aren't supposed to come in. But the call got through my Iron Dome, and so we if you notice the momentary freezing there. Jim here, what's the topic from here? Well, the topic is whatever you guys want it to be. Whatever you guys want. It's up to you. I always go by what's in the chat. So whatever you guys feel like talking about, we'll talk about. Aaron West says autocorrect Hal to hell all the time. Oh, yours says it to hell. Mine says Halloween. I think it's kind of cool though in a way. It's like if my name was Hal, I would probably want my name to be Halloween. Maybe I don't know. Belfast says hi. Say, Jim the base is here. I almost skipped you, Jen. Sandy Phillips, what was on the peachy hat? Oh, I just had pepperoni. It was like pepperoni. It was kind of a little bit spicy. I guess when I got that call, maybe it kind of jumped down or something. I don't know. But let's see. What does Gin of the Base? It says, Gin of the Base says, "I'm lurking and listening. I know you are going to pop off at me, and I look forward to it. Hello, loungers, and all. I'm back to lurking. Be well, everyone." See, I didn't pop off. I didn't. Not yet, anyhow. Gillespie, I had to kill my autocorrect. Now my blunders endure unmolested. Yeah, that might be. I've always said, like, autocorrect is the bane of my existence. Let's see here. Sammy Carter says, really starting to look like this might take Trump down. It might. It just might. It's something that he's being, attacked, I guess, or scrutinized from all sides. And that's why he's running these other countries just to get away from it. And he still can't get away from it. Nick Rich shit and shot, and many others too. I guess we're talking about the autocorrect thing. Mr. Bob Newell, I can't hear you. Hello, Mr. Bob Newell. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you. Stephanie V2 is saying hi to Jen Vase. She says, "No more Walker. How are you?" So that's great, Stephanie. The Walker is been put away in storage, hopefully, and you're getting around, and that's good to hear. Good to hear it. James Chamberlain says Marsha hard to say right now because Marsha was asking something maybe about how he's doing. I don't know. And he says about what they have me do at work seems to be, I think, aggravating or aggraving. Mr. Manuel, right this instant, I'm thinking of the number 8. Okay, good for you. Good for you. Isn't that special? So what else is going on in the news today? I know we the intro was dealing all about basically about the what's going on in Texas and the Texas state legislators getting out of there, getting the heck out of there. Also, there was the clip about the guy in who was saying "fuck you, fuck you." You know, you're cutting Social Security and Medicare or whatever. That was in North Carolina, and you saw a lot of people getting upset at their representative in North Carolina. And then the other day we had Nebraska. This isn't California and New York and Illinois. These are places like North Carolina and Nebraska. And if the Republicans are losing Nebraska, no wonder they want to change the maps. It's no wonder. So I hope that the Democrats are able to stymie this, and as far as the gerrymandering is concerned, and that I really hope and pray that we are able to get the House back, get the Senate, and like that one guy said, impeach his ass. And that's what I've been saying. We need to get the numbers, especially in the Senate, which is always harder to do. It seems like get those numbers so we can remove the motherfucker. I think that would be great. Impeach him for a fourth time? How many times has he been impeached? 2 or 3? I've lost track. It's pretty bad when you're the president of the United States, and I can't even keep track of how many times you've been impeached. I mean, that's unheard of. So I hope that I hope it happens. I hope we can get at the very least, even if we don't have the numbers to impeach, at least get back the House and the Senate, the majorities. But I mean, we got to do it. Got to do it, man. And then the question is how much damage can he do between now, even if we win in? Just we got like a whole other year, over a year before the midterms. It's like we're over a year away still. So even if we win, even if we take back the House and we win this and we get the Senate, we've got over a year, and then that Congress doesn't take office until January of 2027. So we've got still like a year and a half before, even if we are able to get to these elections and have the big blue wave. So how much fucking damage are they going to keep trying to do? And it's kind of rhetorical, right? I mean, we know that we've already seen in 6 months what he's been doing and the Republicans have been doing. So Lord help us the next year and a half. I mean, we're just starting. It's just starting. But hopefully we see the Democrats fighting back now, and hopefully they've got more tricks up their sleeves to try to stymie or slow down this Project 2025 bullshit, which apparently by someone's count or by someone's figuring, I think it might have been Robert Reich said that they're 47% through Project 2025, and that was a few days ago. They probably even more by Sonny Folds, Trump is going to cut retirement and retirement Social Security. Yeah, that they want to privatize it. One of his main people in the administration said that they want to fucking privatize it. I mean, just come out and said it. Mr. Abdul, have you been to Lexington? I think you meant Lexington, Kentucky. I've driven through there on the interstates systems. Nick Rich, 2 impeachments and 34 felony convictions. There we go. It's hard to keep track of all the shit that this shitwad in the White House, has been convicted of. Nick Rich, the 25th Amendment might be worse. J.D. Vance as POTUS. It certainly won't. Yeah, I mean, it probably won't get any better. I mean, like I say, if we hold the majorities in Congress, we can at least hold them off there. But it's a year and a half away, man. James Jaramillo says twice, but impeachment won't do any good if we don't have 2/3 of the Senate to remove. Yeah, that's right. So that's why I say we need that supermajority in the Senate. Sammy Carter, Trump wants to take over Washington, D.C. police. Sorry, came up on phone. I think I did see a little thing about that. Mr. Bob Newell, how's the coffee? I don't have coffee. I still don't have any coffee. I just had milk, and now I'm drinking water. Milk and water. Nick Rich says Pistol on Project 2025. Okay. All right. Okay. I guess Sandy was asking Stephanie how her hip is doing, and Stephanie says it's doing really well. I'm walking without my walker. That's very encouraging news. Marcia says, James Jaramillo, yes, working certain physical jobs can exacerbate injured joints. Had to do the same when I was working. Please try to find ways to move, lift, take some pressure off if possible. Hey, Michael McAndrews is here. Good to see Michael. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you. Crimes on top of crimes. Yeah. Donald Trump just talk about the criminal president, and he has the nerve and the audacity to talk about going after crime. This is look in the mirror, motherfucker. Nick Rich says only 27. I don't know what that's about. There's about Newell Kamala 2028. Like I said, maybe. Who knows? I don't think that door is completely shut yet, David Dog, I think I'll download my dash cam trip for VA today with Trucker John playing on my phone. Alrighty. Sounds cool. Feel like I'm going on a ride with you. Like Andrews, I like the 49th Amendment, my favorite. Uh, 007 Kevin is here. Hello, 007 Kevin. How you doing? Good to see you this morning in the old driver's lounge. Mr. Bundle, what color was your favorite truck? Orange. Orange and black. 72, Marsha, we just got to do a little more. We just do a few little exercises at home. We don't go into physical therapy. Oh, I guess it was about. Oh, Marsha asked about the rehab and stuff. David Dog, full waiting room. Looks like I'll be here a while. Well, hang out with us, I guess. You got your ear pods on. Hey Wayne Goins here. Hey Wayne, good to see you. Says the Social Security Administration now has full access to our bank account balances. They want to decide who needs it and who doesn't, and who needs it the most. Which they really, it's none of their business. If you paid into it, this, and you're eligible to start collecting, then that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how much money. It shouldn't matter how much money is in your bank account. If you've been paying into Social Security your whole life, and now you're eligible to receive it, then you should receive it. This is not, this is not the same as Medicare or anything else like that. This is a program that we all paid into. It's like a benefit. Nick Rich, I'm wondering if Trucker John has thought much about matrimony since his daughter got hitched. And he probably says, no, I have not thought about it at all. Not looking, Nick. I'm not even looking. I don't care about getting married at my age or whatever. Why would I want to get married at age 64 and a half? David Dog, my SSDI was signed by a judge. Hope that makes a difference. Wow. I don't know. With this administration, I don't think anything matters, really. When going is part of Republicans' future plans. Yeah, I tell you what, though, they take away Social Security. You saw that thing in that North Carolina clip I had. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You will see enraged people all over the country and all through all the red states, just as much as the blue states. And people are make comments about what's it going to take for the American people to finally do something. Well, that would be it. Nick Rich, I never said anything about being celibate. I just said I'm not looking for marriage. Mr. Balnul, do you have a favorite breakfast restaurant? Maybe Blueberry Hill Diner or a restaurant. Blueberry Hill, probably. David Dog says, Marcia Sandy is slow explaining the rest of the house and meeting the other cats. They don't care for the new guy yet. I had a dog named Sandy. I love that dog. Nick Rich is obvious when John skips down through the chat. Yeah, like I just did there. I mean, do you really want me to read every little thing? Like, David Dog, thanks, Stephanie B2, rainy on I-85 this morning. That's nice, but do I have to read that? I mean, I'm already done with my water. I was thirsty. I was a little bit thirsty. But just as a reminder, guilty. Just in, Donald Trump is guilty. We talked about the 34 felony convictions, impeached twice. He's guilty. He's a guilty SOB. Isn't he? Dimmy Dog, yes, you must read every word. Mr. Balnul, coffee gives me gas. Really? There are some people. I think there are some people that are just gassy people, and because then they're like, oh, it seems like everything gives them gas. Well, that's just because you're a gassy person, I guess. Sammy Carter, 34. I don't know what that number's about. Oh, 34 watching, maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's what that was about. Dimmy Dog, I'm a gassy person, or people. Well, we are little gas machines. Keith Olbermann just came on my TV. Should we see what Keith is saying? Let's see what Keith is saying today.
He had written me a fan letter. I've discussed this before. It was about a commentary I did on ESPN2 about Ted Turner, and he wrote me a fan letter, and obviously I couldn't stop him. He had my address. I had met him previously at NBC. I had met him in the 1980s. It feels like the 1880s. It was a long time ago, and I knew him, and I was like, oh,
I don't know who he's talking about.
I decided to take advantage of the fan letter,
What's
which is how I wound up seeing the look on his face as he wandered around
Who's he talking about?
aimlessly and mindlessly while projecting, at least in his own mind, a sense of being the great constructor. The con part is correct.
Are you talking about Trump?
When I wrote him back to take advantage of this fan
I don't know.
was to try to approach him on the subject of the deteriorating condition of the building in which I lived. He didn't own it. It was called Trump Palace, but it...
Oh, so yeah, he's talking about Trump. That was Overman talking about Trump. David Dog, I'm a gassy people. Nick Rich says beer gives me gas. It escapes unprovoked. Belfast Bob with a £5 super chat. Thank you, Belfast Bob. Yippee! It's yippee time. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. All the way from Ireland, doing that for us. We're going yippee. City folks, I'm good. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, there was a yippee going. Nick Rich, 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. So why is my iPad a minute slow? That should not be happening. My iPad clock should be like right on. I don't know why. Because it's actually 10:01 now. For some reason, my iPad is 1 minute behind, and that's weird because it should not. It's hooked up to the international clock of clocks. I thought. Hey, there's John from Las Vegas. Hey, John, good to see you. Says he's talking about George Steinbrenner. Well, he was also talking about Trump because he was talking about Trump about a building Trump owned. It was called Trump Tower or something.
Evoked again the movie A Face in the Crowd and Patricia Neal and Andy Griffith. But I'm diverging past the point of you understanding what I'm saying anymore. So I'll get back to this. I write him about the elevators. They call me and they say he's going to come in and inspect the elevators on such and such a day and see what the problem really is. And my argument was, it's your name on the building. When my name is on something, I take personal responsibility for it. I'm only doing TV shows here. You do a TV show and you have buildings. You can materially do something much more easily about the buildings than I can about my TV shows. I'm sure you found the same thing. And sure enough, he showed up right at the hour that was announced, and I was fairly impressed by that. And in he walked. And by the way, for those of you scoring at home, he's about, at least he was in 2013, about my height. I'm about 6'3.5". So that part may not be an exaggeration, although he did look heavier than I did at those days, and I was pretty heavy. I was probably about 265 then. Anyway, he walks in, he comes over, shakes my hand, and in person, he can be exactly the charmer that the people who believe he's not insane think he is. And you sit there going, wait a minute, what is this? Doesn't line up with the other guy. And my initial thought in 2013 was there's a real problem here because there are at least two different Donald Trump personalities, and that's always a bad sign. It doesn't really matter which one is the right one, the good one or the evil one, that they're both there, that's a bad sign. My first objection to him running for president was I didn't think we should have a president with a totally split personality.
Yeah, he's talking about Trump. Anyhow, Music's here. Hey, Music, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. So I hope you are well, TJ and Chad. Sammy Carter, 6 p.m. in London, so now I'm a couple minutes behind, I guess, apparently. Catherine Real Health Talks here. Says hi, everybody. Hi, TJ. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming on in. Damon Dog, 1 o'clock here. My appointment time. Time to call me back. Sunny Folks, TJ, you don't need to get married, but you need a woman in your life. Why? Why do I need anyone in my life? Look, don't project what you guys need onto me. Maybe you need a person in your, like a man or a woman in your life. That doesn't mean I need a woman in my life. Roxanne Epstein says, I'm finally here. Yay. Howdy, TJ. Hello, Roxanne Epstein. Good to see you. It's about time you got here. Things are starting to lag a little bit. I was like, man, if Roxanne Epstein was here, I bet you things would pick up a little bit. James Firmino, check this out. Yesterday at work, we had some asshole look at our ice machine outside and ask the Black and Hispanic ASPCA workers, is this where we bring the illegals? Wow. That's fucked up. That's so fucked up. Asshole thought he was being funny, but no, you're not being funny. You're being an asshole. You're right. He was an asshole. Nick Rich, my clocks all have 420 set for alarms. Roxanne Epstein, I had an important appointment. It went successfully. Chilling for the rest of the day. Yippee! Well, that's good. You got that out of the way, and now you can just kick back and relax. Sandy Foltz, what happened to your I had orange juice earlier this morning. I was drinking earlier. I got up earlier to get those clips I put up and to splice them all together. And while I was doing that, I was drinking my orange juice. Let's see. Sandy Foltz, orange juice gives me the runs. Jesus Christ, everything is just. Oh my God. That might be a bit of TMI there. I don't know. Mr. Abdul, will you go to Thornville, Ohio on August 13th? I have. I will. I'll just say no. And I don't know why. Why would I be in Thornville, Ohio, on any day, let alone August 13th? Hey, Kimchi, the goddess Kimchi, thank you very much for coming on in. Kimchi says, Sandy, one word was hidden behind the heart. I read Orange Man gives me the runs. WW, hey, WW's here. Hey, W, good to see you. Kimchi and WW coming in together, or at least at the same time. What's that all about? WW, excuses. When you're retired, you can ignore clocks. AM's here. Hello, everyone. Fellow loungers. Sorry I missed the intro. Nope. No worries. No problem. You can always check it out later. WW says exactly. My mom kept bugging me to get a girlfriend. Then when I did, my mom would always find something wrong with them. Yeah, I think people should just worry about their own lives and not worry about other people's lives when it comes to that kind of thing. Oh, Gillespie, without a woman around, how do you know your faults? Right. That's right. Yeah. Olga Martinez is here. Hey, Olga, good to see you. Thanks for dropping on into the old driver's lounge. Olga says, nah, he's just a criminal. 47 isn't split. The liar lies about himself, just a criminal. Yeah, referring to the little bit of Oberman there, I guess, that came through. Sandy Foltz, it's 1:10 p.m. over there in Niagara Falls. Mr. Manu, whoop whoop, my juggalos, whoop whoop, my juggalos. What did Alton say that was so genius? Oh, but false. Okay, well, I didn't think that was a genius thing. Damon Dog, WW, you fell asleep during Boston Brian last night. I hope you feel rested and restored. But then W woke up at 4 a.m. Yeah, when you clock out early, then you're going to usually wake up early. Nick Rich John seems laid back today, all caught up and no big rants yet. Oh, we're still early. Kimchi says tonight is my second of 4 Hailstorm concert. Can I get an amen? So you're going to 4 Hailstorm concerts? Must be nice. Catherine Real Talk says people are well aware of many of their flaws without having someone else point them out all the time. Yeah, so, well, never mind. Anyways, who here doesn't know what a juggalo is? I don't know what a juggalo is. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. WW, love it out, Mr. Bagnul. You've never been to the Midwest. You can feel the moisture in the air. Kimchi 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 2. Put a sign on the door the whole night through saying do not disturb. Okay. Sandy Full says, TJ, maybe if you had a woman in your life, you won't be so grouchy. Oh, you think I'm grouchy now? Just wait till a woman would be in my life. I'd be even grouchier. Music says I'm proudly oblivious to my own flaws. It is my greatest strength. Oh, the Insane Clown Posse. I was going to say that. Here's honestly what I was going to say. I was going to say, aren't they like? Aren't they like followers of this one rock group or something like that? That's what I was going to say. I couldn't remember it was Insane Clown Posse. So, but deep down inside, I knew. Mad Max here. Hey, Mad Max, Slava Ukraini. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. It's really good to see you. Sandy Foltz on August 27th to September 31st. I go on my vacation. Well, have a good vacation, Sandy Foltz. Are you going to Wisconsin? Is that or not? Or do you? I mean, you don't have to tell us if you don't want to. But, anyhow, Insane Clown Posse has been probably so irrelevant for so long that I kind of forgot about him. Nick Rich, I'm totally out of the loop when it comes to modern music. I hear it, but have no clue who the artists are. I feel. Just turn on the radio, man. Just listen to whatever the kids are listening to. Robert Perez, haha, Johnny, if you had a wife, you wouldn't have the Mighty Trucker John show. Probably right. Am says, how are you not talking about the fool on the Capitol Hill taking a stroll on the roof? Because no one's brought it up. I talk about the stuff that you guys bring up. Are you talking about the diddler on the roof? WW Insane Clown Posse has been around since the 90s. Right, and I don't think they've had anything of any significance since the 90s in terms of music that anyone would know. David, my appointment was 12 minutes ago. At what point do I go to the desk and complain? I would give him about an hour and a half. Kimchi says, TJ could be my boy toy, but he is too proud. I ain't too proud to beg. Mr. Bugnell, stay hydrated. I'm trying. I think I'm going to go refill my cup of water. I think I'm about done already. It's good and cold, though. Good and cold. Robert Perez says, Roxanne Epstein, hello, and I'm in love with your hair, laughing out loud. Robert is a hair fetish guy, apparently. WW iced tea for me all day long. I think, isn't too much tea bad for your liver or something? Kimchi, 15 for your professor and 30 for a doctor. I said an hour and a half. I guess because I'm just so used to going to doctor appointments and sitting there for like an hour and a half. Actually, probably not. It usually seems like it's about an hour. Or it might be a half an hour, let's say, and they finally call your name. And then you go sit in the little room for another half an hour. You know? So you think, oh, good, they called my name. I'm going to get seen now. And so you go back into the room, and then they're like, the doctor will be with you momentarily or whatever. And you're like, okay. And then you just sit there on that examination thing with the paper on it, and you're just sitting there waiting, and then you're looking around, and you're reading all the stupid things on the walls. You know, they have like a poster about your digestive system is on the wall, and then there'll be some other type of thing, you know. And then there's a counter, and then they might have some magazines over there. And you're like, should I get up off this table and go grab one of the magazines? And then you're thinking about that, and then finally you're like, you waited so long, you're like, yeah, damn it, I'm going to get the magazine. And then just as you're getting the magazine, then finally the doctor comes in. Robert Perez says, no, Johnny, I'm just a bald-headed guy who is jealous of anyone who has hair on their head. Oh, okay. That's is it follicle envy or something like that? Nick Rich, when John keeps up in the chat, we can't confuse him. Where's the fun in that? Aaron West, the caffeine in tea isn't good for hydration. You know what's the best thing for hydration? Water. It's good old H2O. WW Trump was up on the roof planning his ballroom, a 2,000 person arena to be built next to the White House. I didn't know that a president could do that. Could just change the grounds of the White House. I've been there for 200 years, and then you could just do that. But shouldn't there be some sort of congressional oversight or something? Of course, this Republican-led Congress will let him do whatever he wants anyhow, but still. Belfast Bob Juggalo, I did not know, but knew a few back in the day actually dressed as insane-looking clowns. Sandy folks, yes, I'm going to Wausau, Wisconsin. I believe that's where your son lives. So that'd be cool. Get to visit your son. AM says, damn dog, I once took my husband to see an oncologist and we waited for over an hour. I found it to be inconsiderate that the receptionist didn't even give us the option to reschedule. Catherine Real Health Talk is saying a man was arrested apparently with an AR-15 and many knives. When, where, why, how, and all that good stuff. Wayne Goen says Trump wants his throne to watch cage matches in his ballroom. Sonny Foltz, when you were a trucker and drove a truck, did you have a CB radio? Yeah, I had one. Especially for the first few years, I pretty much shut it off, and then it eventually stopped working, I think, and I never really fixed it in the last few years. But it was in the truck though. Nick Rich, Big Balls got his ass kicked by some girls. I'm not sure if that was true. That's not what I heard. I heard it was just that some teenagers were trying to steal his car or something. I didn't hear that it was just girls or whatever. But WW says the plans are absurd. It won't happen. They're just humoring him. We'll see, WW. I guess we'll see. Robert Perez, maybe the ballroom will be on the roof of the White House? The plans I've seen, it's supposed to be right on the side. Catherine Real Health Talk, is Dean Cain really joining ICE? That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Kim, she says he is destroying the East Wing to build his tacky ballroom. Yeah, that should not be allowed. At this point, the White House is like a national monument, you know? Damon Dog, the $20 million includes bulletproof glass all around. Roxanne says, I haven't seen Josh anywhere this week. Maybe he's on vacation. Catherine Real, I'm talking young guy with AR-15 and many knives was at the airport. Which airport? There's lots of airports. WW, even Buckingham Palace uses temporary tents. Their bathrooms have working plumbing. WW, 2,000 people need a lot of bathrooms. Double 007 Kevin Trollslayer says, all I can say about Dean Cain is that now he's a super dope. Marcia says, I'm about to get even further behind. Temp aid needs more directions. I'll try to get back before the end of the Trucker John Livestream. You do what you got to do, Marcia. You do what you got to do to get the right care that you need. Belfast Bob says, Dinkies dip the ice Gestapo funding. They're using shitty Luton removal vans as Trojan horses. Kimchi, who is Dean Cain? Robert Perez says Dean Cain's just an asshole. Just another asshole. Roxanne Epstein, Dean Cain was a shitty Superman. I think the series sucked. You know what? I never really watched that show all that much. I think there might have been one season where I watched part of the season, and that was about it. I mean, I didn't really have. I don't remember thinking it was shitty, but not. I never thought it was great. I don't think. You know, I think that was back when I was working with the post office, and I used to work graveyards. Tour one, that was the graveyard shift, and so I didn't really watch a lot of TV. Whatever TV I did watch, I usually had to tape it, on my VCR or on if I had some device, DVR thing or whatever. And then even then, a lot of times you record stuff and then you don't get around to watching it. So there was a pretty long period there, late 80s through the 90s, where a lot of stuff I didn't watch just because of my schedule, where I'd watch a few shows here and there, like ER or whatever, that was a big one. WW, they should use ICE money to build prisons, not FEMA money. Maybe they should just use prison money to build prisons. Why do they have to use ICE money to build prisons? What does ICE and prisons have to do with each other? Catherine Real Talk, Dean Cain was this kind of hot guy that played Superman on television. Robert Perez, sorry, he is a super asshole man. Sammy Carter, Catherine Real Talk, I know he was hot, but not now. WW is something about buff actors. They are only good as long as their bodies hold out. Then you realize how bad they were at acting. There are a few exceptions. Okay, whatever. Like Arnold. The thing about Arnold is that, he just sort of accepted Arnold. And just people outside talking. Nick Rich, how is one of them, Wes? One of the ones that is a good actor, a buff actor that's good. David, Doug, I got to do laundry when I get home. Plus, the AC guy is supposed to be there this afternoon. Those window units are getting a workout 24/7. Sunny Fold says one time there was a big fight in the ER waiting room. Wow, that must have been crazy. WW, the guy on Tracker is pretty good. I don't know what Tracker is. Oh wait, Tracker. I think I have seen that. I saw a few episodes. I like that show. I haven't watched it recently, but yeah, it's like he has a Airstream trailer in a big truck, and he goes around and he just helps people and shit. Yeah, it's a pretty cool show. It's a pretty cool, I guess, just another way of getting kind of like, I guess, like a mystery, solving a mystery. So this is a unique way of having, someone figure out mysteries and stuff. Roxanne Epstein, wow, TJ, I can picture you working at the post office being a mailman. I've always liked the mail people. Actually, I was never a mailman. I was a mail processor. I worked in indoors, never outdoors. I was a mail processor working in automation. And when I was there, I actually made a video. Well, I didn't make it. I was in a video, like a safety video that they made. And I had this one little part in it where I explained the proper way to use what we called BBs, which were bonus belts, which is basically a rolling kind of cage that you put mail in, and you can haul mail around in it, and it has like a shelf that comes down and fold. You can put it up or down or whatever. And I did this little video about that, and I believe that was about 1989. So I was about 28 going on 29 years old, and here it is.
Hi, I'm John Fowler, and today I'm here with the BB. It's our #1 safety hazard. Now, you've all had talks and demonstrations about the BB, but I just want to go over it one more time with you real fast. So here goes. First, you always check your safety hooks. Make sure you get the regress hooks. Check for your latches. Make sure they're in working order. Make sure you have 3 screws. Shelf this up. Always use a PVC pipe. Check your brake. Pull from the front so you don't run over your toes. If you think you won't get killed by a bonus build, check your brake. Pull from the front so you don't run over your toes.
All right. So that was me. Gosh, 35 years ago. Hard to believe. That was me at the post office. You see, I had a T-shirt that had the little postal logo on it. Just in case you didn't believe me that I worked for the post office. Let's see here. Damn Dog says, Mad Mac, I agree. Spend money on schools. The need for prisons will decrease. WW, no, Arnold was not a good actor. I didn't say he was. I never said that he was. You don't listen. See, you don't listen, Wes. You need to get a hearing aid or something because you don't fucking listen. Catherine, the Real Hot Talk, says Arnold is a beast. He still tries to take care of himself. Yeah. I think so. I think he still works out. Guy's pushing 80. I think he's still working out. I just watched that show. I watched it on Netflix. I think it's a Netflix show where he plays like a CIA agent, and he's retiring. And then his daughter's in the thing. Well, not his real daughter, but daughter in the story. I think he still looks pretty good for being like, I don't know, 79 years old or whatever the hell he is. Aaron West Tracker is Justin Hartley. WW Arnold was a womanizer, never a hero of mine. Couldn't understand how he could become governor. Well, it's because it's the same kind of mentality of why Trump became president. You know, you had a big campaign to have a recall of the governor, the Democratic governor, put it by a lot of billionaire money, and then Schwarzenegger jumped into the after the recall went through, then they had a new election, and he had the big name recognition, and it was all name recognition. Really, that's the only reason he won, because out of all the other candidates, he was the best known. Robert Perez, Johnny, have seen a few videos of a USMC vet riding around on a motorcycle with a "fuck Trump" flag. I'm worried he's going to get run off the road somewhere. Yeah, I hope not. I hope he doesn't. WW post office jobs are good. Lots of people lust after them. I mean, I just never liked working graveyard. I did it for 12 years, and I never got used to doing it. I hated all 12 years of it. And they say you make good money. I mean, my best gross salary with working lots of overtime was like 46,000, I think. So if that's what people are lusting after, then of course this was back in the 90s, but still. And that was my highest year. I mean, most years was probably like between 35 and 40 or something like that, or 41 or something. But yeah, probably like, So I don't know. That's something to lust after for fucking $40,000 a year job, and you have to work graveyards to do it. David Dog, been 30 minutes. I went to the desk. She said she'll check. In other words, sit your ass back down and wait. WW can't understand the audio. That's because you need hearing aids. That's why. I checked the audio on my end, and it was coming through fine. So I think you have a hearing problem, W. So Rob Perez, people go postal for a post office job. I wrote a screenplay called Going Postal, by the way. I think it's a pretty good one too. Give she damn TJ, you were a hot babe. Yeah, I had my moments. Roxanne Epstein, wow, so young, handsome, important. That was like 35 years ago. 35 freaking years ago, man. And look at you, Mr. Calling. Yeah, I did. Catherine Real Hot Talk, TJ, that was you. Yes, that was me in the red shirt. Yes. Robert looks like the 70s. No, Port Actor. Well, no, but it was 1989, I think it was. John Depp, flashbacks. I'm retired post office. There you go, John Depp. You know all about a BB. You know what a BB is, and you notice that we shot that. We didn't shoot that on the workroom floor. We went to a side office, an interior office, and no one bothered to bring the PVC pipe. Usually there's a PVC pipe. There's like a little hole in the side where you can just stick it in there. And so when I was doing the thing, we started doing the thing, because when you put that top shelf up, you're supposed to put this PVC pipe across. It's supposed to be like a double, because there's a little metal thing that kind of spring out, kind of like a spring-loaded thing that goes, and it's supposed to keep the shelf from falling back down on your head. Like if you're grabbing trays out of that BB, you don't want the shelf to come down and hit you in the head. So there is this little metal thing that keeps it in place. But a lot of times those things will break or they're loose or whatever. So you put the PVC pipe, you just lay it across. It just sets right across like in front of the shelf, so the shelf can't fall down. That's the thing. You're supposed to have that PVC pipe. And we were part of the safety team, and we're doing a safety video about how to properly use the BB, how to be safe with it, and we didn't even have the PVC pipe. So you saw in the video, I put the shelf up, and then I realized there's no PVC pipe. So I just went ahead and I just did my lines, But then afterward, I go, "Do you want to do it again? Because there should be a PVC pipe." And the guy who was making the video is like, "Nah, it's okay." And so to this day, every time I see the video, it just bugs me that we didn't just do another take with the PVC pipe. And John Deff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you worked, with BBs and stuff. WW, right that I don't listen to you. There is another chat going on, John. Stop being so full of yourself. Well, then maybe you should just stop commenting because you're an idiot. Anyhow, David Dog, cool. John Deff. I went to look and took the test for the PO when I got out of the Army. After I got a job with UPS, they called. I stayed with UPS for 5 years loading trucks. Jit up the base says, okay, I just dipped in for a second to see the mighty Postal John. TJ, you could have been the next Fred Dreyer, Bubba Smith, Dick Butkus, Alex Karras, or OJ. All right, I'm out again, just doing a drive-by. Thanks, Jen. That's when I blew out my knee. I didn't blow out my knee playing football. I blew out my knee at the goddamn post office. I'd say about a year after that video, I was on the workroom floor. I just bent down to pick up a piece of mail that had fallen on the floor. And when I stood back up, my knee just ripped out. And it sent out just a searing, burning, sharp pain all up and down my leg and all through my body. And I immediately just hit the floor. I just fell on the floor at the post office there, at the processing center. And about a year after that video, that's when I blew out what turned out to be a meniscus. It was just a meniscus tear, but it was so bad because people will say, I had a meniscus tear and I had surgery. It took 20 minutes and I was back to work 2 days later. Well, the meniscus tear I had was a very major. There are minor meniscus tears and there are major meniscus tears. And mine was what was called a double bucket tear. And the surgeon who did the surgery was very pissed off at me because he said the surgery took so long that he missed his tee time at the golf course. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. All the people that go, I had meniscus surgery, I had arthroscopic surgery, and then I was back to work 3 days later. Fuck you. I was out of work for like 3 months. Or I was back to work. I guess I went back to work, I don't know, about 3 weeks later, but I was on light duty and because I was on crutches. They kept me on crutches for a while, and I was on light duty for about 3 months. Roxanne Epstein, TJ had the short, long cut. Yeah, it's what's called a mullet. But I think my mullet was not a total, like, oaky hick mullet. Mine was more of a cool valley mullet. Because I was in the valley at the time. Mad Max post office is hiring. Sandy Phillips, you looked good back then. Of course, I was 29 years old. Who doesn't look good when they're 29 years? Come on. Who does not look good? Everyone, go back to your pictures when you were 29 years old. Who doesn't look good, or at least better than you do now? Unless you're 29 now. John Depp overnights did suck. I avoided them. I couldn't avoid it. That was my bid job. I was a Tour 1 mail processor, and I tried to get to at least to Tour 3. You know, tour. There was nothing for Tour 2. You know, that was absolutely for mail processor. It was basically Tour 3 or Tour. So to get to a daytime job, I would have to completely. There were just very, very few jobs, and it would be. And I did test for some of those. Some of those jobs were in the forwarding thing when you had to be able to key in forwarding addresses and stuff. I tested for that, and you had to type so many words a minute. My typing was pretty good. I never did be able to get the bid. Yep, everything's bid process. Even to go from Tour 1 to Tour 3, Tour 3 would be what would be known as the afternoons, the swing shift, like a swing shift. Because even I would have even preferred that over Tour 1, but I couldn't even get on that with my seniority. I mean, I didn't have that much seniority because literally, there were people that were there 30 years, 40 years that were still hanging on, and you couldn't get those jobs. You couldn't get to Tour 3, and Tour 2 really didn't exist for anything that I could do. You know. VD Hertz says I'm seeing weekend tourism in Vegas is down 15% and more midweek. Yeah, it's down. Don't let Hal Sparks fool you. Hal Sparks said something yesterday on his, I guess it was the afternoon show, and he's like, where he just said, Vegas is okay, don't worry about it. It's August. It's always down in August or summer or whatever, and that's not true. I've been doing rideshare for 3 years now, or combined taxi and rideshare. Summers are usually the busiest times of the year, spring and summer. And I mean, it might start to slow down a little bit in August, but it's been slowing down for like 3 months now. And like you say, VD says 15%. And I remember 3 months ago, it was down. I noticed tourism and strip revenues and stuff like that were down. It was like 2%. And then the next month, it went to like 8 or 9%. The last thing I saw was 12%. Now VD is saying 15%. So don't let Hal Sparks fool you. This is one thing that he has wrong. Tourism is down in Vegas considerably. And it's not just because it's August. It's been going on for months now, gradually getting worse. And people aren't coming here. Canadians aren't coming here. Just like our biggest trading partners are Mexico and Canada, our biggest tourists that come here are Canadians and people from Mexico. And they're not coming here for understandable reasons. They're afraid to come here. They're afraid of what might happen. Well, especially for people from Mexico. People from Canada, they might not be so afraid that they're going to get, swooped up by ICE, but they don't like the tariffs and the talk about the 51st state and all that shit. I've talked to some Canadians that have come down here, and they said they're never coming back again. Not as long as Trump is in the White House. So, yeah, don't let Hal Sparks fool you. This is one area, at least one area, where he doesn't really know what he's talking about, or he put out some bad information, or wrong information. It's down. And it's not just because it's summertime. Things are down, and it's getting worse and worse and worse, and it's going to continue to get even worse, I think. WW adjusted inflation, $46 in the 90s would be double that now. AM says there was a time where many mass shootings had to do with postal workers. That's what that was about. Right, I know. And I wrote a screenplay called Going Postal. I know all about the thing. I know all about the shootings. I know about the term. What Aaron West or clean your ears? Yeah, I told him that too. Clean his goddamn ears out. WW, I made 17,000 in 1987. I started with the post office in 88. Because you start off really low in pay. They start you off pretty low. My starting pay, my yearly base salary, I think I want to say, was it 21 or 23,000 or something like that. And to that point, that was the most money I think I'd ever made. But then they bump you up pretty quickly. So from your first year to like your third or fourth year, in those 3 or 4 years, you start off. This is back in 1988. So guys, remember the year. I think I started off. I think it was like 23,000. But within about 3 years, I think I was up to my base. We're just talking about base salary. This is not overtime. This is not holiday pay. This is your base salary. I think I was up to about 28,000 within 3 years, and then because you have all these step increases. This is the great thing about a union. We had a union, so we had step increases, and you have all these different steps. So after a certain amount of months, you get another step increase, and you get COLAs, cost of living. What's the other A for? Whatever it is. Allowance, cost of living allowance, and you get all this stuff. So thank you, union. Thank you, APWU. So I went from like 23,000 to within a few years 28,000. With a couple more years, I was over 31,000. And then pretty much, and then as time goes by, the steps, you don't get as many steps as fast. It kind of lengthens out a little bit. And then I was probably topping out around 35 or 36. That's just your base salary. So that was in the 90s, mid 90s, 35, 36. And then with overtime and holiday pay, there were a few years in there where I was over 40, 45. But that's not my base salary. That's with the other shit on top of it. WW, no, Johnny, the sound suck. No, you suck. Because I listened to it. It did not suck. You suck. That's all. That's all there is to that. You must have a shitty computer or something. Vinny Hurst says, I was fortunate. I was making $20 per hour working for Philips Electronics in 1990, right out of college. That's pretty cool. Kimchi, I know, right, John? I was 22. John Depp, I was 16. Nick Rich, my best year for income included almost 1,000 hours of overtime, lots of 12-plus hour shifts in the early 90s. John Depp, I had the shelf fall on my head. I think I did too. I don't know if it actually hit me in the head or what. I think I might have had a few close calls. And that's why we always emphasize the PVC pipe. I mean, we had stand-ups about that, about the PVC pipe. It was always being mentioned, and then we do the video, and we didn't have the PVC pipe. That's my point. There was such emphasis on always having the PVC pipe so that the shelf doesn't come down and hit you in the head. This metal, really hard, heavy metal shelf. And then we do a video about it, and we didn't even have the goddamn PVC pipe. And that's why I said, should we do another one? Should we go? Could someone go just go walk out to the floor there and grab one? Because we had them all over the place. We had thousands of PVC pipes that were made specifically for this safety issue, and we didn't even have it in the fucking video. And every time I see that video, I'm like, why didn't someone just go and get the goddamn PVC pipe? I mean, it would have taken 2 minutes to walk out and grab one. And I mentioned it. I said, hey, should we just do another? Because that was one take. I was one take John there, one take wonder. I think we just did that in one take. And I said, we should have a PVC pipe. Can someone go get one? And the guy was like, nah, it's okay. We're good. I was like, all right. David Dog says, my mother and I bought a restaurant in 1989, so in 1990 I didn't make shit. Cafe work is incredibly hard on the body, worse than loading trucks at the UPS. WW retired but made more last year than I ever made in my life. Wow. Good retirement. Vinny Hertz says, I never had a company pay my health insurance care. I was always per diem. Kimchi, me too, Roxy. Besides, women mature much faster. Damn Dog, we kept the restaurant for 20 years. Roxy, I'm saying, TJ, did you play college football? Yes, I played college football. Yes. I played college football. I played semi-pro football too. Vinny Hertz, restaurants are a lot of work. Those grill exhaust chimneys need regular cleaning for maintenance, covered with grease. Roxy, I've seen David Dog. Restaurants are a lot of work. I was a waitress for a couple years, busted my ass. My mom did a lot of waitressing, and yeah, it was hard work. David Dog says, yep, we made good, paid it off in the first 10 years. After my mom died and my health got bad, I sold it and retired in 2012. Catherine Real Hot Talk, your doctor was a dick. He wasn't a dick. He was joking. It's not like you hurt your no. Don't take it. Maybe I misrepresented it. I mean, he was joking. I think he was being truthful about like how long it took, and I think he was being truthful about missing his tea time. But I don't. But I took it as a joke. I never took it as being like a mean thing or whatever. So let's not get it twisted. There wasn't that. It wasn't that big of a deal. Slough Sessions. Laughing out. Yeah, your mullet was cool. Is this Jeff Slough? Hey, Jeff Slough. If that's you, it's got to be. There's the one and the only Jeff Slough of the Penny Stinkers. I believe is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. We have a true celebrity in the chat. Slough Sessions. Penny Stinkers. If you're up in the greater Seattle area, you guys should check out Jeff Slough's band, the Penny Stinkers. I believe. Are you still with the Penny Stinkers, or are you just doing Slough stuff now? Are you solo? Did you go solo, Jeff? VD Hurt says, I know someone whose business is cleaning grill exhaust chimneys. Tough to get customers to pay. Most are in debt, barely making it. Yeah, I guess restaurant businesses are a very little margin, profit margin, I guess, and a lot of expenses. So it's a tough business. WW, I retired full-time in 2013, worked part-time until 2019, never went back after COVID started. Nick Rich, reverse aging is a myth. Roxanne, cool mullet. It wasn't a bad mullet, TJ. You look good then too. Thank you. Kevin 007, Kevin Trollslayer. When I was 29, I was a freaking chick magnet. Yeah, see there? See there? How things change? And how people, when they see pictures of, like, I'm old now, and people just can't believe that I didn't look this way my whole life. You do know that I didn't look this way my whole life. Okay? You guys do know that. And you should know that, because none of us look the way we look now, 30 years ago. That's my point, I guess. Mr. Bob Newell says, my ideal woman would be a combination of a bud tender, accountant, and a supermodel. Alrighty then. Well, alrighty then. WW, yes, it is Rich. Bodybuilder online promoting fitness drink says he is 68 but looks 50. Says he only started working out at 50. He's lying. Yeah, that's you're right. About the lying part. Yeah, it's full of shit. It's all horse shit. Kimchi hospitality is down everywhere in the U.S. Roxanne Epstein, I'm chubbier in my mid-40s than I've ever been. I've been using my yoga swing last few weeks. I can tell the difference. Good for my neck and spine too. Well, that's good. Get on that yoga swing. John Depp says we had two brothers at the PO. One had 56 years at the PO, the other 58. I know. And there were people that, I mean, I don't mean to get morbid about this or sound insensitive, but people were literally working there until they dropped dead on the workroom floor. There were at least, I think, in the time I worked there, there were at least 3 people that I can remember that actually just fell over they were sitting on a rest bar casing mail because that's all they could do at that point, and they just fell over and died. At least 3 in the 12 years that I worked there. And that, I don't mean that because the job killed them or whatever. I just mean because they're fucking old. And they just worked there until they literally were being, carted off the workroom floor, dead. James Jaramillo says, I agree, Sir TJ. One of my supervisors said she recovered quickly after a similar injury, and I told her, I'm not you and you aren't me. Not everyone recovers the same. She didn't know what to say. I know, and the reason I brought that up because I was having issues with like fucking management, and they kept having me run around and I was going to the doctors and they were putting me on light duty and then you have managers would say just like that, like really that was just arthroscopic surgery, I'm like fuck you, bitch. Inside my head, I said that part. Anyhow, Nick Rich says, funny thing, I retired about 4 years ago and have lost about 40 pounds simply because I eat less. I don't need the calories like before. The Soulcraft says, Hal is smart but has blind spots. Teal Swan big among them. I don't know what Teal Swan is. I have no idea what Teal Swan is. Kimchi says, John, next time tell me I will meet any of my friends in the Mid-Atlantic, especially any beach. I guess was that John Deff, maybe? I don't know. Soulcraft's here. Hey, Soulcraft. Soulcraft. Hope things are going well for you. I know you had some issues going on, with your dad and everything, so hope things are going better today. WW, I've lost about that much since 2000. Also, Rich, I'm up about 7 now. Kimchi Hal does have blind spots, specifically weed, religion, and mental health, and anthropology too. Bob Newell is a 420 already. Well, I didn't realize that weed was such a big deal. I mean, I've always been a proponent of legalizing it. Going back to when I was in high school or junior high school, I've always thought that it was ridiculous that it was illegal. But also, now being, in my 60s, I didn't realize so many people my age were like such potheads. Religion, talking about religion, I think I'm just going off of I'm just using these little talking points here. As far as religion is concerned, I think anyone should just believe whatever they want to believe, as long as it doesn't involve hurting anybody. Mental health, yeah, we need to. I think we need to have. I think we need to have a better mental health system, and I don't even know what anthropology is. So. Kimchi John, we go to Outer Banks usually. Oh, I think you're talking about to another John. John Deff, I think. John, and speaking of John Deff, says John Deff. John Deff says, "How won't admit caffeine is a drug." I don't think he doesn't admit it's a drug, but I think that he rightfully distinguishes the difference between smoking pot or snorting cocaine or snorting meth or ingesting or smoking crack, dropping acid, all that kind of shit is vastly different than drinking coffee or a caffeinated beverage. If you can't admit that there's a difference, okay, dropping acid and drinking coffee, if you think those two things are the same, then I don't even know why you're here. And I think that's what Hal is saying. Because when he says, I've never done a drug in my life, he's not talking I think there is a legitimate distinction and difference between drinking some coffee or a caffeinated beverage and fucking dropping acid or even eating shrooms. It's not even in the same ballpark. It's not even in the same league. It's vastly different. And so when people try to trip him up because he's drinking a caffeinated beverage, I believe that's completely disingenuous of those people and, quite frankly, horse shit. So whatever Hal says to defend that, I don't know exactly what he said, but I'll back him up on that. I will 100% back him up on that. All right? Snorting a bag of blow, doing big railers is not the same as going to Starbucks and getting a fucking drink, some caffeinated drink. And that's what people do. They try to go, oh, you say you've never taken drugs, but you're drinking coffee or whatever. See, that's horseshit. That's fucking horseshit. As my football coach would say, Jeff Slough, if you're still watching, if my old football coach Dan Hook would say, that's horseshit. I don't know if Slough's still in here. Sometimes he comes and goes. Kimchi, I snack all day now. 1 meal lasts 2 days now. WW says you suck. You suck, motherfucker. Andrew Petrie, hello, all you lounge lizards. Hello, Andrew Petrie. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you coming on in. Roxanne Epstein, what are Hal's thoughts on THC? I missed that Hal does drink soda, I think. He might. I don't know. I know he drinks. I don't know. I don't know what he drinks. I don't really. Other than sometimes you see him drink stuff that looks like tea and stuff like that. His thoughts on THC. I don't know. I guess you probably should ask him. This is water, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. So crap. He won't rag on people who use it, but compares it to hard drugs at times. WW bullshit. Your audio is fine. The sound on your video is not. I haven't heard anybody else complain about it, but you, W. And I listened to it on my device, and it sounded fine. So. Kimchi says he says we have evolved so that hunger is anger and thirst is depression or something. It's ludicrous. I don't know. Are you still talking about Hal? Because I've never heard him say that. Roxanne says YouTube just crashed on me. Oh, well, that sucks. Mr. Bumble, no, I miss licking the stamp before putting on the envelope. I know. When's the last time you had to lick a stamp? I've got stamps that I've bought like 5 years ago or something. I think I have some forever stamps. Good thing they're forever stamps, because I almost never mail an actual letter in the mail anymore. Everything is done online, just about. So, Soulcraft, the Till Swan thing, I don't get. He follows her. Oh, that's a person. That's a YouTube thing or whatever. She's a known liar, cult leader, egotist who promotes suicide. I've never I've been listening to Hal and watching Hal's show for, I don't know, what, 3 or 4 years at least. I've hardly missed any shows. I think I've probably seen 97% of his shows he's had during that time, and this is the first time I'm hearing of Till Swan. So I don't know where you guys are getting that from. Roxanne Epstein, Hal pharmaceuticals for a long time suck for many reasons, and THC helps with pain relief and PTSD. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. THC. Kimchi says he also said I cannot be an atheist and a Wiccan. He needs to stay in his comedy lane. I will not let people tell me what is my own damn brain. Atheists don't believe in any God, any afterlife, any like supernatural beings. I think, right? I don't know what Wiccans believe, but if Wiccans believe in any of that, then I can see Hal's point. Roxanne says, I didn't realize you were so into football, TJ. My bad. I tune sports out sometimes. That's cool. I think of football players as warriors. Well, I don't know. I just love playing football because I don't know. I just loved it. I wasn't that good at it, but I loved playing it, and so that's all I got to say about that. I really loved playing football. Because it was the one thing that I guess I wasn't very good, but it was the one thing that I could actually play, and I was actually like a starter. I mean, I tried to play baseball. Baseball was really my favorite sport, but I totally sucked. I'm not a very good athlete. Apparently, I'm a bad athlete. I could not play basketball, although I did make 21 points in a row one time in a basketball game. But I also went 5 for 5 in a baseball game one time. But I sucked at both basketball and baseball. Ask any of my friends who know me from my school days. I was a horrible athlete. But I don't know of anybody who can say they made 21 shots in a row. And I don't know anyone who, well, I mean, it's very rare for even at these lower levels of play, like high school or whatever, to go 5 for 5. You have 5 hits and 5 at bats in a game. I don't personally know anyone who's done that. I'm not saying that no one has done that, but I don't think I personally know anyone who has ever done that. But I was a terrible, fucking horrible player. And football, I wasn't that great at it, but at least I was able to get the hang of it and learn it and become a starter. And wherever I played high school, I played college, I played junior college, I played 4-year college, I played semi-pro, and I was always a starter. So for me, that was something. And I know some people say, "So what? You were a starter." I mean, there are good athletes out there that they're all American. They're they get drafted to play in the pro, play NFL or whatever. And here I am. So my big level of achievement is, I was a starter. But for me, that was a big deal because everything else I tried at, I wasn't good enough to start. Baseball I started too, but I batted 8th in the lineup, and I would tell, and whenever I would see the lineup card, and I'd see there I am in the 8th spot, and I would go, "Oh, good, I'm batting second cleanup." And the first few times I said that, people got a kick out of that. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm batting second cleanup," because back in those days, you put your big power hitters basically in the 3 and 4 spot, maybe the 5 spot. And but basically, the four spot was the cleanup hitter. All right, and so then you go to another four, you're in the 8 spot. So that's why I was like, hey, I'm batting second cleanup. And I remember my coach going, he got a kick out of that. He goes, yeah, that's right, you're second cleanup. Anyhow, but yeah, I love playing football just because I was a big knucklehead that liked to put on the pads and hit people, basically. All I wanted to do was play defense. I didn't want the coaches would put me on offense. The only way I would play offense, they were wanting to play offense, is if they put me at fullback, which they did a couple times. Slough says, yes, it is. Howdy, amigo. Hey, Slough. Hey, Jeff. I'm glad you're still here hanging with us, man. I had Jeff Slough's old football number. Jeff Slough played, also played football at high school, same high school as me. He graduated the year before me. He was number 66. And my favorite number was 66. So when Jeff graduated, I got that number. That's probably Jeff's jersey. Because in those days, the jerseys kind of would hang around for a few seasons, before they got new ones. So, yeah, that Jeff probably wore that jersey. I don't know. Maybe we got new jerseys that year. I don't know. Because it looks like kind of like a new one. I don't know. But there we are. There we are. Or there I am. Let's see here. WW had a couple of friends who worked at Great America over the summer, cleaned grills all night long, greasy job. Grease is some of the grossest shit. I worked at some fast food places, and you had to take like buckets of grease to the back dumpster where they had a big grease bucket back there, and that shit smelled the high hell, man. That was bad. Gross. I mean, you had to like literally plug your nose or whatever, hold your nose. Roxanne says, turn and face the strained dog on typo in my song lyric. I hope TJ delivers it the way I meant. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's about. Nick Rich, Till Swan is a woman. But I don't remember Hal ever mentioning Till Swan on his show. Are you guys saying that this is someone that he references on his show all the time? I don't know. The Soulcraft says she's kind of hot, pathological lion cult leader. She's big in YouTube though, or was till someone took her advice and killed themselves. What does this have to do with House Sparks? Did House Sparks advocate, or I don't know for her? I've never heard of her before. Like I said, I've been watching House Sparks for 3 or 4 years, kind of religiously, and this is the first time hearing of Till Swan. So, which makes me kind of worried because if she's been on, or if he's mentioned her a lot in his show, then why am I not hearing it? Why am I not hearing it? The Soulcraft, look her up. I mean, it's fascinating, but she'll sicken you with her BS about past lives. Catherine Real Hell Talk, the weed issue is as complicated as the gun issue. And it really shouldn't be. Weed should be legal and guns should not be, okay? Or at least guns should be very, very, very regulated. And I think weed should be regulated too. You know? Nick Ridge, Blunt Politics is live. I'll start the convoy. Oh, is he on already? Oh, and I have gone over 2 hours. Well, say hi to Boston Brian for me. Slav says it's still here. Slav says you're my soundtrack while I'm cleaning the studio. Well, thanks, Jeff, for having me in the background. I'm looking forward. I signed up for your newsletter, and I'm looking forward to getting more information about some of your performances and what you got going. Slav says hello to those saying hello. Yeah, Jeff, or Slough Sessions, I should say. If anyone's up in, I'd say in the greater Seattle area, I guess, check out Slough Sessions or Jeff Slough or the Penny Stinkers. I don't know, for a night, an evening of great musical entertainment. Got to tell you, way better than whatever WW can do. I shouldn't be pitting people against each other. I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry, WW. Anyhow, let me just scroll on down. We got to end the show here. It's been over 2 hours, and Boston Brian's on, and everyone's going to start leaving to go see Boston Brian. Slav Sessions says, laughing out, yeah, we didn't get new unis very often. Slav Sessions, go Sun Devils. I think that year there, those might have been new ones, though. But I'm not sure. The Soulcrafts, he follows her. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I've never heard of her before. That Till thing, I've never heard of her. And I've been listening to his show for years. Mad Mac, Teal Swan is a best-selling author. She's pretty cute, too. And apparently, you guys, so am I right in saying that you guys are saying that Hal Sparks talks about her all the time on the show? And I've been listening to his show religiously for 3 or 4 years, and it's somehow, this is the first time I'm hearing of it. I'm calling bullshit. Aaron West says Trucker John has membership. Yeah, we got memberships. It's starting at $1.99 a month, guys. $1.99 a month. You get a membership, and you can be a part of this beautiful thing called the Trucker John Livestream, the mighty Trucker John Livestream, for $1.99. You can't beat that. But just remember, liking doesn't cost you a dime. You know, hitting the thumbs up doesn't cost you a dime. Subscribing doesn't cost you a dime. I don't know if some people are confused about subscriptions and memberships. They're two different things. Subscriptions it's completely free. All you got to do is hit the thing that says subscribe and whammo. And then we'll be at 4,000 eventually, and then I can eat that dandelion as promised. Memberships are different. They cost you money, but they start off at only $1.99. And they're supposed to come with some perks, and I haven't been too good at it. I'm going to get better at doing the perks. And all that stuff. So, anyhow, who's House Sparks? Well, look him up. There's a thing called Google, and you're on YouTube right now. And there's a little thing somewhere where you can search. Just put in his name in there, and you'll find out. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. It is 11:20. I guess Boston Brian is on. If you guys want to check him out. In fact, I could go over to him right now. Let's see. Yeah, there he is. He's talking about Chris Cuomo or something. So if you guys do go over there, make sure to give me a shout out when you go into the chat. Trucker John sent me. I'm here from Trucker John. Trucker John sends his regards. Whatever, however you want to word it. I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow, Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Aaron West, $2 super. What did I say? Super Trucker. Super chat. Thank you very much. Yippee, going out to Aaron West. Thank you so much. We got the. That was the only one of this show. Wow, 1 out of 5. Anyhow, you guys are awesome. Trucker John Raid from Mad Mac. Yeah, do it. Tomorrow is Friday already. The week goes past, man. Our lives are just flying by. Before you know it, it'll be midterms, and before you know it, we'll impeach Trump. Anyhow, guys, I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time right here on the Mighty Trucker John channel. Thanks, guys, for listening and watching and lurking and working and all that kind of good stuff. There's only one thing left to do today, and that is the Trucker John Words of Wisdom. So you might want to get some paper, although we don't want to, cut down too many trees. So try to use the same paper as much as you can, or recycle paper, whatever. And here's today's Words of Wisdom. Are you guys ready to take this down? All right. So here you go. Here they are for today's Words of Wisdom.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food and movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love, it's all about the thrills. It's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.